You are lying. We both know it. The invitation pops up. A simple Friday night out. Your fingers trace the response. Can't make it. Sick again. A wave of sheer, profound relief washes over you. Have you ever felt that almost sinful joy, not just of being home, but of not being out? Do you see yourself playing this character, crafting elegant excuses of work or family emergencies, just for the unadulterated pleasure of a worn-out t-shirt, a comfort meal, and complete silence? Society labels you boring. They call you a hermit, a party pooper, maybe even broken in a world that romanticizes constant movement and shared noise. Why is it that four quiet walls are your sanctuary, while the bright lights and big laughs of a crowded bar make you feel more alone than ever? If you are that friend, if you are that no-show, this is for you. Science does not call you broken. It calls you something entirely different. And today, we are going to understand exactly what you are protecting. Because your home is not a hideout. It is a source of power. Let us get one thing straight. Staying home does not mean you are antisocial. It does not mean you lack social skills, or that you are failing at life. Society loves to diagnose a quiet weekend as a symptom of loneliness, but they are completely missing the biological reality. Your brain is simply built differently. Back in the 1960s, a psychologist named Hans Eysenck revolutionized how we understand personality. He introduced something called the optimal arousal theory. Eysenck discovered that the difference between you and the person dancing on tables is not about confidence. It is about cortical arousal in the brain. Extroverts are naturally understimulated. They have to seek out loud noises, bright lights, and chaotic crowds just to feel a baseline level of normal. They recharge through movement and chaos. But you? Your baseline arousal is already incredibly high. Every single social interaction, every forced conversation, every read of a facial expression is flooding your nervous system with data. It drains your battery to absolute zero. So when you close your front door, you are not running away from the world. You are plugging a highly sensitive piece of equipment into the only charging station that actually works. Think about the sheer unpredictability of the outside world. The moment you step out, you are at the mercy of countless variables you cannot control. The sudden shriek of an ambulance siren, the overwhelming scent of someone's heavy perfume on the subway, the inescapable trap of small talk with an acquaintance at the grocery store, forcing you to smile and nod while your mental energy rapidly drains. Now, compare that to the moment you turn the key in your front door. You step inside, and instantly, you are the architect of your environment. You dictate the exact dimness of the lights. You set the perfect temperature. You choose the ambient soundtrack, or better yet, you choose the profound luxury of absolute silence. For highly sensitive individuals, this control is not a quirky preference or a selfish indulgence. It is a mandatory survival mechanism. It is the only way to signal to your brain that the external threat is gone, allowing your hyperactive nervous system to finally power down and breathe. But here is the beautiful paradox of that silence. Society assumes that if you are spending a Saturday night alone on your couch, you are doing nothing. They think your mind is stagnant. The exact opposite is true. When the relentless external noise finally stops, your internal world violently comes to life. Psychological studies consistently point out that solitude is the ultimate incubator for introspection, advanced problem-solving, and raw creativity. The most brilliant, world-shifting ideas are rarely shouted over the thumping bass of a crowded bar. They are quietly born in the corner of a dimly lit room at 2 in the morning, fueled by an uninterrupted spiral of deep thought. Consider the story of Lynn. If you met Lynn at her office on a Wednesday, you would think she was the most vibrant person in the room. She leads meetings, she mediates conflicts, she laughs easily at her colleagues' jokes. She gives the world exactly what it demands of her. But when Friday night arrives, and the group chat buzzes with invitations for drinks and loud dinners, Lynn gracefully declines every single one. Our modern culture romanticizes the hustle. It tells Lynn she is wasting her best years, aggressively pushing the narrative that you must go out to make memories. But Lynn has uncovered a secret that most people spend a lifetime ignoring. Her ultimate dream, her absolute best life, looks like this. A soft, oversized sweater, a steaming bowl of soup, a fascinating documentary playing on the screen, and the most intoxicating feeling of all, zero obligations. For one night, she does not have to perform. She does not have to analyze a single facial expression. That is not a tragedy. That is not a lonely life. That is the pinnacle of self-awareness. But why exactly are some of us built this way? Psychologists refer to this as a low-stimulation preference, and it all comes down to a very specific biological chemical, dopamine. For most people, dopamine acts as a reward system that demands bigger, louder, and more thrilling external events to feel satisfied. They need the outside world to entertain them. They crave the drama, the fast-paced environments, and the constant stream of new faces just to feel a spark of joy. But your brain? Your dopamine threshold is remarkably sensitive. You do not need a thumping bass line or a crowded room to feel alive. Your inner world is already a vivid, complex, and deeply rich landscape. A quiet morning, a well-crafted sentence, or a profound thought provides the exact same chemical reward that others only get from a chaotic night out. And then there is the hidden cost of human interaction. For you, a simple conversation is never just a simple conversation. Your brain is essentially acting as a supercomputer, processing a massive amount of invisible data in real time. You are reading micro-expressions. You are analyzing the subtle shifts in tone of voice. You are decoding the unspoken context of every sentence and carefully selecting the exact right words to respond. This level of extreme empathy and hyper-observation consumes a staggering amount of mental and physical energy. It inevitably leads to sensory overload. Your sudden urge to go home is not a conscious choice. It is your body physically pulling the fire alarm. It is a biological command forcing you to retreat, power down, and perform a hard reset before your entire system crashes. But we must be honest with ourselves. We cannot romanticize every aspect of isolation. You have to ask yourself a very difficult, very quiet question. Are you staying home because it deeply fulfills your soul? Or are you staying home because the thought of stepping outside feels physically crushing? Is your solitude a place of peace, or is it a place of hiding? Because there is a darker psychological reality here. For some of us, the locked door is not a boundary to protect our energy. It is a symptom. It is the heavy blanket of social anxiety, the echo of unhealed trauma, or the whispering voice of depression telling you that there is no point in trying to connect anyway. When those forces take over, your beautiful, safe home subtly transforms. It stops being a refuge that heals your nervous system, and it quietly becomes a cage that holds you captive. But if your home is truly your sanctuary, then you know the profound joy found in the quietest corners of existence. It is in the deliberate, quiet ritual of brewing your morning coffee. It is in watching the way the late afternoon sun stretches across your living room floor, noticing the small details that the rushing world entirely misses. Your nervous system is a highly sophisticated, delicate piece of machinery. You simply cannot plug a perfectly calibrated device into the chaotic, high-voltage power grid of the outside world and expect it not to short out. So, if you are someone who can finally decline an invitation without a single ounce of guilt, if you would much rather rewatch that same comfort show for the 10th time than force yourself to make awkward connections with strangers, hear this clearly. You are not broken. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are simply wired differently. You are programmed to prioritize depth over noise. You are perfectly designed to choose profound peace over an exhausting social performance. So tell me the truth. Do you stay home because it is your peaceful charging station, or because stepping outside has become too heavy of a burden? Share your real story in the comments below. This is a safe space, and no one here is going to judge you. Do not forget to subscribe and become a member to support our team. Then, click the video on your screen right now to uncover more psychological truths that no one else is telling you.